Bernie's election to Congress transformed the political landscape of Vermont.
People think about Vermont as a very blue state, but at the time Bernie was first running, that seat had been held by Republicans for decades.
He became the major opposition to the Republican candidate, and he won that race.
His message to the people is always the same, is that the rural communities are the heart and soul of America. He may be originally from New York, but he certainly understands the ground that I stand on.
An independent who has shown growing power in recent years.
Bernie's work in the 90s earned him the term Amendment King.
We passed amendment after amendment after amendment.
He was so effective at bringing together coalitions to support the needs of all Vermonters.
During a 10-year period of Republican control in the U.S. House, he passed more amendments by recorded vote than any other member.
And he was able to get support for things like community health centers.
Bernie has, of course, always tried to get a universal health care system. He's done the next best thing.
One of his amendments got $100 million for community health centers. He talks to them about the real economic issues facing them.
Bernie's always been aware of the value of the family farm, and he's always stood up for good food and the people that produce it. The dairy compact was one of the biggest ones, but that was one of the issues that gave fair prices to farmers that we could survive on.
Which really solidified an economic basic quality of life for our dairy farmers.
A number of companies like IBM in Vermont were trying to create what's called a cash balance pension system, which harms older and older workers.
That were being discriminated against based on their age. We need to save their pensions. And so we launched a big fight. Restored $320 million in pension benefits to 130,000 workers. It took a movement of IBM workers to demand that IBM stop cutting their pension benefits.
Bernie was always right dead on the money, and as compassionate as any person I've ever run into.
People have faith in Bernie.
If they know that Bernie Sanders fights for them, that he's fighting for their family, that their lives can be better if the policies that Bernie is advocating are put into place.
And Bernie is a person that I feel will bring the whole country together.
Bernie stood up for our children, health care, our environment, and Bernie reaches people across the political spectrum, and that's how he wins.